The Texans' day began with many of them kneeling for the national anthem in Seattle in protest of owner Robert McNair's comments likening NFL players to inmates running the prison. It ended with a 41-38 loss to the Seahawks on a Richard Sherman interception following Russell Wilson's touchdown pass to Jimmy Graham with 21 seconds to go. The 3 hours in between, though, were a Deshaun Watson highlight film unlike any ever recorded by a rookie quarterback. Watson shredded the Legion of Boom defense for 402 yards and 4 touchdowns, including 59 and 20-yarders to Will Fuller and a quick out to DeAndre Hopkins that turned into a 71-yard go-ahead score in the fourth quarter. Watson also ran for 67 yards, becoming the first in NFL history with at least 400 yards passing, 4 TDs and 50 yards rushing. He set other records as well. He became the first rookie to throw at least 3 TD passes in 4 consecutive games. His 16 TD passes in the past 4 games are the most by any rookie in any 4-game span. His 19 TD passes are the most by a rookie in the first 7 games of a season and broke Kurt Warner's mark of 18 in the first 7 games of a career. He played a fantastic game, Sherman said. To be a rookie and come in here, under all the circumstances, man, you've got to give him all the credit in the world. He's going to be a great player in this league. Deshaun Watson is special, echoed Wilson, who threw for another worldly 452 yards and 4 scores. Go ahead and give him Rookie of the Year. That may be a given in just the beginning, though the Texans are 3-4, including near misses at New England and Seattle. They are the class of the AFC South and should be playing in January. Ask Nick Saban what it's like going up against Watson in a playoff game after 45-40 Alabama and 35-31 Clemson in the past 2 national championship games. Wilson is correct. We are watching a special player. Here's to Deshaun Watson's continued good health and to the thrill rides ahead. Ya gotta Bill IEV. The Bills' last trip to the playoffs ended in one of the great disasters we'd say in recent memory. But it wasn't so recent. The date was Jan 8, 2000. The event was the 1999 AFC wildcard game. The result forever will be known as the Music City Miracle. The Bills had just taken a 16-15 lead on a field goal by Steve Christie with 16 seconds to go but had to cover the ensuing kickoff with an injury-depleted unit. Lorenzo Neal caught a bloop kickoff for the Titans and handed to Frank Wycheck, who took a few steps to his right and threw back to the left to Kevin Dyson. The fleet Dyson took off down the left sideline and went 75 yards for the touchdown. The Bills complained the miracle was illegal, that Wycheck's throwback was a forward pass, and that play is still rude today in Western New York, because the Bills have not been back to the playoffs to create a new and better memory. Wade Phillips lost his head coaching job after going 8-8 the next season. Greg Williams, Mike Mularkey, Dick Joran, Chan Gailey, Doug Marrone and Rex Ryan have come and gone in failed attempts to bring the Bills back. Only twice have they finished above 500, 9-7 in 2004 and 2014. Enter new coach Sean McDermott and GM Brandon Beane. Exit a couple busloads of players. When camp began, there were 51 new players and 29 Ryan holdovers. Since then, Wr. Sammy Watkins, CB Ronald Darby and DT Marcel Darius all have been sent packing. The massive purge has resulted in a Bills team that sits at 5-2 after Sunday's thorough 34-14 dismantling of the Raiders in Orchard Park. Tyrod Taylor threw for 1 touchdown and ran for another. The defense forced 4 turnovers and returned 1 for a score. Matt Milano's 40-yard fumble return and LaShawn McCoy capped his 151-yard day with a 48-yard touchdown run. Our fans do a great job of creating a hostile environment. Taylor said of his team's 4-0 home record, "Home games are important to us and we want to defend our dirt." The Bills are a half game behind the 6-2 Patriots and hold the first AFC wild card. They finished their season series with the Jets on Thursday night, and have 4 games in December versus the Patriots and Dolphins. We want to know for a while if the Bills will end their 17-year drought. For now, it's looking good for them to get in. And if they can bring the postseason back to their dirt, they'll have a shot to make the Music City Miracle ancient history. Play of the day. 3 plays after a goal line stand preserved a 13-12 lead for the Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger lofted a 3rd and 9 pass from his own 3 into the hands of Juju Smith-Schuster, who ran away from 3 Lions for the 97-yard touchdown. Back on the sideline, Smith-Schuster wrapped a chain around a stationary bike, a reference to him losing his bicycle this week. It was a bitter loss for the Lions, who rolled up 482 yards but never reached the end zone. Bad beat. You've got the Chargers +7 at Foxborough. You're covering when Travis Benjamin catches a 24-yard TD pass from Phillip Rivers to make it 18-13. But a failed 2-point conversion doesn't give you enough protection against Stephen Gostkowski's field goal with 1:08 to go. Then Rivers takes the Chargers to the Patriots' 23 before being intercepted on the last play of the game by Jonathan Jones. Post patterns. Ezekiel Elliott rushed for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns to lead the Cowboys to a 33-19 victory over the Redskins. It was Dallas' 5th win in a row at FedEx Field, as they move back over 500 at 4-3 for the season. The question now, though, is with another court hearing set for Monday in New York over his 6-game domestic violence suspension. Did Elliott and the Cowboys win anything with all of his temporary court victories? If his ban were to begin next week, it would be a huge blow to Dallas' playoff chances. If he had taken his punishment at the start of the season, he'd already be back. The Eagles lead the NFL with a 7-1 record after a 33-10 rout of the 49ers at the Link, and are also having the most fun. After an early TD, Zach Ertz flipped the ball to frequent front-row fan Mike Trout. Later, after a 53-yard Alshon Jeffrey score, the Eagles put a spin on their usual home run celebration, with Ertz hitting Jeffrey with the pitch and Jeffrey charging the mound. 3 stars. 1. Russell Wilson, Seahawks QB. Wilson threw for 452 yards and 4 touchdowns, capped by an 18-yard TD pass to Jimmy Graham with 21 seconds left to beat the Texans 41-38. 2. Deshaun Watson, Texans QB. Watson was fantastic in defeat, throwing for 402 yards and 4 touchdowns, including 224 yards to WR DeAndre Hopkins in the wake of the inmates' firestorm. 3. Juju Smith-Schuster, Steelers WR. The player who famously lost his bicycle this week got on his horse for a 97-yard touchdown reception, the longest in Steelers history, in a 20-15 win at Detroit. The youngest player in the NFL caught 7 passes for 193 yards. He said, "What? We had great talks, but in the end, we just didn't get enough done in today's game. And that's what's disappointing because we had it and I just let it slip away." Texans coach Bill O'Brien, referring to meetings he had with his players after owner Robert McNair's inmates comment ahead of Sunday's heartbreaking 41-38 loss to the Seahawks. Fantasy insanity.